This day, a siren sounded in almost all regions of Ukraine. During one of the air alerts, the Russian military launched a missile strike on Rivne region. This was announced by the head of Rivne Regional Military Administration, Vitaly Koval.
I have arrived at the scene. As it is an object of military infrastructure, we will not disclose details. No one was killed. 6 people have been injured. All have been provided with medical care in medical institutions of the region. The condition of the victims is stable.
Стан постраждалих стабільний.
Residents of the village, near which the hit took place, say that windows and chandeliers were shaking due to the explosion. It flew, the explosion was strong. Then again, boom, and that's it. We have such houses where we will hide. If it hits us, we will be able to get out. We're shocked because we've already grown unaccustomed to it, got distracted, calmed down. Granddaughter standing on the doorstep saw a missile flying over the clouds. Terrible. For almost 3 months, the Ukrainian military held the territory of the Azovstal plant, which remained the last bastion of the defenders of Mariupol. In an interview dedicated to the 3rd anniversary of his inauguration, President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky stated that almost all defenders of Mariupol and civilians had been taken out of the territory of the Azovstal.
Цивільних вивезено, медиків вивезено.
Civilians have been taken out of the Azovstal, as well as medics and the seriously wounded.
Поранених. На цю мить, коли ми з вами говоримо, я знаю, що відбувається.
I know everything that is happening there at the moment. It seems to me that in the near future, I mean not days, but hours, the removal of all of them will be completed.
Завершиться вивезення всіх.
Previously, the head of state claimed it was impossible to unblock approaches to the Azovstal by military means due to the lack of the appropriate number of weapons. Therefore, according to Volodymyr Zelensky, the defenders of Mariupol received a signal that they had every right to go out and save their lives. During the day, the Russian military fired at 14 towns and villages in the Donetsk region. The Center for Strategic Communications and Information Security, citing the Interior Ministry, said the enemy had used aircraft, tanks, and heavy artillery. In particular, this day, in the small town of Mykolaivka, enemy fire killed 2 locals and injured others.
Having arrived at the scene, we found a damaged house. A search of the area also revealed 2 dead and 2 wounded. There was an explosion, and I was in the yard, and debris fell, and dust rose, etc. And then they found the neighbor's corpse lying there. Outside, yes, behind the yard.
I looked out, and there was black smoke in front of the house, so that the house wasn't visible at all. The black smoke and everything was falling here too, windows and everything else. The head of Donetsk Regional Military Administration, Pavlo Kyrylenko, said that 7 civilians had been killed and 10 others wounded in the last 24 hours. Also in Kostiantynivka, 1 person was registered to be wounded by Russians in Luhansk region. It is impossible to determine the exact number of victims in Mariupol and Volnovakha. This day, the Russian military have destroyed a music school in Sviatohirsk in Donetsk region. The institution came under fire. The building has been completely destroyed, as reported by the head of Donetsk Regional Military Administration, Pavlo Kyrylenko. He also said that in 2016, the Japanese government, as part of the Promoting Stabilization of Communities in Donbass project, helped local authorities to renovate the school. Pavlo Kyrylenko wrote on his telegram the following: "The Russians have turned it into ruins. I'm grateful to the people of Japan and to all our allies who have helped rebuild Donetsk for years. We will rebuild it now as well." The head of Luhansk Regional Military Administration, Serhiy Haidai, said that the Russian army was trying to break through to Severodonetsk from 4 directions the current day. Attempts were unsuccessful, but artillery and mortar shelling of residential quarters continued. Serhiy Haidai wrote on his telegram the following: "Almost every controlled settlement has been affected. The span of the bridge near the railway station between Severodonetsk and Lysychansk has been destroyed." End of quote. During the past 24 hours, 34 residential buildings in Luhansk region have been damaged. 7 of them are in Severodonetsk, 5 in Lysychansk, 5 in Toshkivka and Nirkove. The exact amount of destroyed housing stock after the shelling in Novodruzhivka and the airstrike in Vrubivka has not yet been established, said the head of the administration. This day, the army of the Russian Federation carried out a missile strike on Mykolaiv region. As a result of the attack, the base of the construction company was destroyed. A large-scale fire broke out on the spot, and there was heavy smoke. The head of Mykolaivka Regional Military Administration, Vitaly Kim, reported about it. "They don't want us to build. It upsets us, but it won't stop us," his Telegram channel said. In addition to the warehouse with construction materials, other warehouses and a gas station also burnt down. A tractor driver suffered a mine blast during a field operation in the village of Lipivka, Kyiv region. This was reported by the SES of Ukraine. As a result of the explosion, the driver was trapped in the tractor. Rescuers released the victim and handed him over to emergency workers, who diagnosed him with multiple injuries. The head of the main directorate of the National Police in Kyiv region, Andriy Nebytov, clarified that a tractor driver in Lipivka suffered an anti-tank mine blast. The mine was left by the Russian military. Rescuers found another 9 mines near the site of the explosion. The bodies of 2 more civilians were found and exhumed in Bucha district. According to Kyiv Region National Police, an elderly woman was killed in a shelling by the Russian military in her own yard in late February, and her 27-year-old grandson was killed in early March by Russian soldiers. Relatives buried the dead at the local cemetery. The National Police of Kyiv region notes that police have already identified and examined 1,290 bodies of people killed during the hostilities in the region. A day ago, temporary housing for citizens who have lost their homes as a result of a full-scale invasion of the Russian Federation started to be installed, as reported by Bucha City Council. The modular units arrived in Bucha by rail. Their creation was made possible by the cooperation of the Office of the President, Kyiv Regional Military Administration, Polish government, and several other organizations. 88 families will be able to be accommodated in such temporary housing. According to the chief architect of Bucha community, Vadim Naumov, the rooms will have heaters and will be furnished with bunk beds, wardrobes, tables. Also, several families will be provided by a bathroom, dining room, and leisure room, according to the project. There will be water supply and sewerage system. In total, 178 residential buildings in Bucha community have 75 to 80% destruction after hostilities by the Russian military. Accordingly, they cannot be restored. Therefore, the work of the city authorities to provide temporary housing to the victims continues.